I'm going to give it a go here to see if I can narrate over the sound of a dredger and some wind. The purpose of this video is to give those who are looking for one that shows a dredger in action. This particular dredger is in Cocoa Beach, Florida. July 7, 2020. We are one of the last canals in Cocoa Beach to be dredged. This guy here has been crawling his way up the canal from the channel down there that you can see in the background on the Banana River, which is a part of the Indian River Lagoon, which by the way is not a river. It is a marine estuary, one of the largest marine estuaries in the world. And in our county alone, it runs 72 miles from Cape Canaveral down to the, down to Indian River County, down to Vero Beach area. And so the purpose of the video, like I said, is for those interested in seeing one in action, and then also for those who are possibly looking to make public comments or oppose some element of a Corps of Engineer dredging project. This project here was conceived several years ago, and what is happening is the dredge material off the bow of the dredger, off of that chain hoist, is a very large bit that is spinning at a high velocity. It's connected to a large pipe that has a lot of suction power that's being generated by that huge engine off the stern of the dredger there. And the spoil material, rather than being loaded on to this platform into a hopper and then barged somewhere like the other types of dredgers, this one here is just a pass-through dredger. Pumps it straight through the platform, out the back end, off the stern. As he comes around here, you'll see an orange-colored, I'll call it a boot, that connects to a, I would say it's an, I went over the top of it several weeks ago on my boat, and I estimated it to be, I don't know, 8 to 10 inches in diameter. And then you kind of pick up the orange boot there off the back. That connects to that pipe. That pipe travels down our canal down to where that that support boat is. That support boat is used to guide other boats that are navigating the channel. He kind of guides them over those points where the pipe, for some reason, surfaces, and so what you have to actually do is raise your prop almost all the way out of the water to be able to traverse the pipe without shredding it. So this spoil material, this dredge material is coming out on the back end of this platform into the pipe. It goes down the canal. It makes a right turn, and it travels about a mile and a half, something like that, to a one of the original spoil islands that was created when the Army Corps of Engineers came in here and created all these streets in Cocoa Beach for the purpose of creating buildable real estate during the space race, so that mostly management and bureaucrats would have a nice waterfront place to live. And so this material is being pumped that distance and being dumped onto what was kind of a pristine, picturesque island right across the navigable channel from a couple of very nice subdivisions. And what is happening there now is there is a very large mound, what is actually going to become almost a hill, which there just aren't any in Florida because we're a flat peninsula. So they've taken that spoil island and they've ruined it. The reason I'm bringing this up is for any viewers that are looking at a Army Corps of Engineer project that is about to happen, that is being proposed in their area. Let me give you a word of caution. You have only 2 weeks, 14 calendar days with which to make public comments. If you want to oppose any element of their proposal, you've got exactly 14 calendar days to do it. I was 1 day late in contacting the Army Corps of Engineers and inquiring about the comment period because I wanted to oppose the idea of dumping the spoil onto that island, and I was prepared to offer an alternative, which was to create an all-new spoil island. There's plenty of room in this lagoon. There's a massive amount of room. This is a gigantic lagoon. They could have dumped it back into the lagoon and made another spoil island with which to grow mangrove and all kinds of things. But instead they chose, for some reason, to take a perfectly nice, picturesque spoil island across the channel from a couple of nice subdivisions and ruin it. So for those of you that are looking into Army Corps of Engineer projects, you got to move fast, you got to be organized, and you got to be prepared with an alternative to that which you oppose. So here he is. It's a real slow process. He just sweeps back and forth. You can see off the back of the platform, you'll see those two large risers, those they call them spuds. You'll notice that one of them is down lower than the other. That one is anchored into the seabed, and that allows him to be able to pivot back and forth. And as he's pivoting back and forth off the bow, that cutter is digging up the spoil material, which is mostly sand and some sediment off of the properties, mainly from St. Augustine sod, and it's making its 1.5-mile journey around to that island. And I'm hoping my voice has been loud enough. It's been fascinating to watch this going on. It's going to make our canal deeper, obviously, than it was, which is a good thing. The not so good thing is that any seagrass that might have been left in our canal is now gone, or is about to be gone. We used to have manatees that ran up this canal, and they pretty much devastated all the seagrass that was in here and then moved on. They're a voracious herbivore that does a lot of damage, actually, to the lagoon, and I'm sure I'll get some flack for that. But Supposedly the plan is to come back and replant, somehow reforest these canals. I'll believe that when I see it, because that island I told you about where they're dumping this spoil, that they first went in and took out all of those. You can see them in the background, which is on another island closer to where I am. Those are invasive Australian pines, and so the environmental agencies around here came up with the plan to do away with those. And when they got public opposition to it, they said, well, we will replant native hardwood trees. Well, the island that I'm referring to, they went in there and they completely clear-cut it of all those invasive Australian pines. They never replanted so much as a stick, and then decided to use it to dump this spoil. So if you got a project like this going on near you, get involved. Make sure you know what your public comment period is, and best of luck to you. This is Mark Clancey on Danube River Drive. The other side of the canal there is Crystal River Drive. I'm off the Banana River, which is part of the Indian River Lagoon. And over and out.